Here we are again. I'm preparing my mixture of PVA glue and water, 50-50, and I've had an idea that I'm going to try out, which is because the mural is about Gibraltar. I've included chronicles and photos from the archives and loads of stuff. But I had another idea, which is pages from the telephone directory, which is really, like, again, a cross-section of Gibraltar. Everybody's there, really. And I'm just going to stick them on the bottom bit of the mural and then apply paint thinly over it. So some of the names will be visible at the end. At least that's my idea. Quickly, I'm not going to bother much about how it's done. Just make sure that it stays there, and then I'll apply more coats of yellow paint. It's already, I mean, this is like the land, and they probably have some sea there and the sky. That's how I'm seeing it. And all of this I'm doing as we go along. I haven't planned anything. I mean, I've been thinking about it, but I'm letting the painting speak to me.
Between a rock and a city, and I've got to make it on my own. Try it.
I haven't given any consideration to the pages or whatever. I just ripped them out of the tel directory, and that's how I'm laying them down.
Now I'll say goodbye. I keep it all in its stride.
We're now approaching the end. I'm very happy with what I see. I like the effect of the newsprint because it's somewhat transparent and you can see part of the car underneath. So, you know, it's not going to be important, but I like what I've done, and especially taking it to the edges, as you can see I'm doing now. That adds to it. It I don't know, it gives it a nice effect. Couple more and we're done.
Between a rock and a city, and I've got to make it on my own. Try it out, try it on, but keep it close, 'cause only
one thing I knew was that the mural had to be like one of my paintings, like another one of my paintings, and I had to do it for myself as well. I knew that it would be seen by young people, students, without preconceived ideas, and that made it easier. So I tackled it in that particular way, like I tackle every one of my paintings. The painting is now talking to me, and it's developing into a bit of a landscape scene, although with hidden Gibraltar connotations. But now I'm going to put a strip of blue right above the yellow, indicating indicating the idea of the sea. And I'm going to start with this turquoise, and then I'll add some ultramarine blue, because the sea has loads of tones. So I'll have a turquoise, a green, and a ultramarine blue to give the notion of the sea. Maybe at the end there won't be anything left, but that's where I'm going now. And I've somewhat got into a bit of a trance here doing this, whilst my friend Andrew was waiting patiently, asking me questions. I was miles away, imagining a scene. Bottom bit is the land, then the sea, then the sky with elements of the green turquoise color. That could be birds or something. And let's see what comes out of it now.
Don't expect me to come Don't expect me to reach for you at all. It's been so long since we spoke. Alone in my room, and I can't decide what I need to do. Just sitting around thinking of you. But my mind keeps me afloat, and I know that I'll find all that I desire. Oh, let the rain fall down and wash away those yesterdays. I'm trying to
I knew also that the main theme of the mural was Gibraltar. But that really racked my brains on how to address that issue, to rather say Gibraltar in a painting, for students that are not local, that don't know Gibraltar. Also having to do a painting of my style that's quite abstract in approach and all that, I had to combine something that would instantly communicate with these people, but at the same time say Gibraltar. That was probably one of the hardest bits to crack of the mural production. Now I'm trying something different this morning. I walked in and it occurred to me, rather than have the newspaper down flat, I'm now actually sculpting it into shapes that go with the painting. So basically it means squashing it. So I'm leaving part of the paint of the original painting to still come through. Again, most of this will be covered later, but in the meantime it works as a stroke of paint. This is very physical work, as you can see. But look at that. You see, that's what I like. The yellow in the newspaper is exactly the same, slightly darker, but hardly any difference in hue. It's exactly the same color as the one that's already there. So that's adding interest to the painting. And I'm following the shapes. I'm following the silhouette I've done with the paint. You might think I'm probably mad, but that's what painters do. You tend to notice things that most people wouldn't even give a minute of thought. This is going to be very interesting. Oops. And I'm going to go all along the painting with this sort of technique. I'm nearly at the end of this section, and I quite like what I've done. I'm very pleased with it. Now, I don't know, some people out there might think I'm crazy, what am I doing with newspaper or newsprint? But I see newspaper and magazines and all that, I see them as an extension of color, as paint really. So rather than apply paint from a tube, you can paint with paper. I mean, I've done paintings where I've actually literally cut out colors from magazines and put them down, stuck them down. Not collage, I wouldn't call it a collage, because collage, you're making an image from what you're doing, especially with the images in the photograph. What I'm doing is using the color in the paper and applying it down as color, as opposed to a bit of what like Matisse did with his cutouts, where he at his older age, he just couldn't, he had problems with his hand and he couldn't paint anymore. And he basically got these cards of color and applied them, cut them up with a scissor and applied them as flat colors. I'm doing a bit of that in a way because I'm using color like he used to use it. Obviously Matisse is a master and I'm not, but using color paper as a way, as a means of putting down color. Some of you will understand it, others might just think this is crazy. But when you've done enough painting in all your life and you've painted realistically, nude models, landscapes, everything I've done, you know, over the years, you get to a point where you want to do something different.
Listen to the man, they told us. He will guide the way. On his plinth of mighty splendor, vacant words will be said.
Another thing I had reasonably clear from the beginning, from the word go, was that my mural was not to be a mural. And I know that's a contradiction, but I knew it inside myself, and I hope to explain it now. When most murals are done, basically a small dummy is created, a small painting, which is then enlarged to the size of the mural, projected, whichever way. Now that has a process that is not in line with my way of working. I don't ever do any roughs or any studies for my paintings. I usually paint from inside out, and I find my way as I'm painting. The mural had to be the same way. So really, when I started it, I had very little idea of how it would end. It was more a process of finding, searching, looking, and finding my way in the process. Now I'm going to apply a bit of cobalt blue to give a bit of warmth to the sea.
Over yonder, down by the orchard, where the fruit of life will grow, there are treasures in the garden.
Right, now I'm going to give a wash of yellow, and it's a bit of a tint, so I can see the newspaper, but have a wash over it. So I'm going to try how it looks. There, that's it.
He will surely be our savior, not just for me, but for you. So over yonder,
Now this is a slightly warmer color.
where the fruit of life will grow, there are treasures in the garden. Will you let them, will you let them grow?
Now this is a bit of action painting. Chinese and Japanese are doing a lot of that now. So in effect, the mural is a large painting, like it's my biggest painting so far to date, and it's just been done in the normal way I do all my paintings. Actually, from the mural, I've now developed new ideas that I'm going to transpose to my future paintings, to my paintings I'm doing now. Today I'm going to go a step further than usual, and I've printed out loads of photographs I got from the archives the other day, and I'm proceeding now to apply lacquer, which is a brilliant fixative, to the print. It's just for my own personal satisfaction that I know the image will be permanently fixed there. It usually is anyway. This is a normal laser printer, an A3 laser printer. But the lacquer highlights the blackness of the ink. And, you know, I feel better that way. So this is the first stage. And then I'm going to adhere the sheets on the mural. And this will be the part that actually applies directly to our history and Gibraltar as a whole. The rest is, as you see, totally abstract. But I'm just getting ready for this part. I'm not going to do it in a clear way. I'm going to just apply them and tear them apart. But there'll always be something there left. Vestiges of time. I've selected images that are, some of them very old, some of them a bit more recent, but that has something to do with our history. Now I'm going to do the next stage, which is applying or sticking the old photos onto the canvas. It's a very tedious process, very time-consuming, but it has to be done. The photographs, I've torn them out, torn the edges off, so they fit into the general composition. These will probably disappear in the end, but there'll be a vestige of it, the vestiges of what was there. That's probably the oldest drawing of the Moorish castle to date. Apparently, I was told by the archivist.
Pero aquí en nuestro pueblo, donde siempre te hemos amado, como la Virgen de Europa, siempre te ha invocado. Virgencita de Europa, patroncita de Gibraltar.
You see the chronicles that I had earlier on stuck on it, some of them are now being covered and lost. But that's part of the process. If I were to control that, it wouldn't be the same.
Nuestros corazones haya buena voluntad. Aunque nuestros paisanos vayan muy lejos de aquí a vivir, cuando mencionan tu nombre, sienten un fuerte latido.
Just realized the glue has black ink from the printer, but we'll have to live with it.
Nacido aquí en nuestro Gibraltar.
This photo I love. Wonder what these people are up to, or well, we're probably gone by now. But it shows how transient life is Here's a happy family returning to Gib, and they probably no longer exist. Maybe the little girl does. But it's a great image.
De Gibraltar.
These girls, the joy in their faces, and now they're all history. These are probably all gone. It's amazing how we all go. And there comes a point in life when you start thinking about them. When you're young, you don't really think much about death and what's going to happen to you. But then you get to an age where you start to really think about it. El baila. And I'm going to apply a bit of blue in the bottom bit there, because I still not quite like how it's looking. So here we go, and let's see what effect I get. Ah, that's nice.
Picture you in a way that you're not. I thought I never would like you this much, and I'm alone but you are here with me.
I like that because it looks like waves. That's what I like. That's another touch. Another layer.
And yet I see the best in you. Why don't you see the best in me? I cannot speak for both of us. I know we really messed it up, but I really do believe I found a special place.
Now I'm adding a bit of ochre for effect. It's a bit like the sand washed up around the beach. Wow.
Did I go right too much? Oh, ignorance is bliss, but I'm not so sure I didn't see what I ignored, and yet I see the best in you. Why don't you say the best in me? I cannot speak for both of us. I know we've really messed it up, but I really do believe I found a special place for us with love. I found a better way for us, but you said
I knew that I did not want to paint the mural in situ. I didn't like the idea of going up to the university and painting it on the wall, plus the fact that that would have a negative effect. No, I mean I'm a messy painter myself anyway, but also a painting on a wall would probably deteriorate earlier. So I decided to paint it in panels of plywood 7 panels of plywood and paint it somewhere else where I could be myself, I could be my intimate surroundings, call it a man cave or whatever, where I could play my music and really go on a journey of discovery. So I couldn't do that in the university common room with students all around me. Luckily, the Gibraltar Cultural Services via Angela Bulla kindly agreed to donate me or allow me to use a space that was ideal. It was an old garage, but it was exactly the right size. The mural fitted with enough space around it for me to move around the painting and actually walk on it. That was an interesting thing. I've never walked on any of my canvases before, and it already gave me new sensations, new feelings, and it started that way.
Llévame donde nací, a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen Gibraltar. Solo donde vi la luz llevo puesta mi ilusión. Llévame, quiero morir junto a aquel para mí gran peñón, la línea y el campamento, Algeciras